Hey guys, what's up? It's Brett from Silky Sweater here. Thanks for tuning in. We've got a not impromptu video, but what I'd refer to as an urgent video because I just received my first new jersey of the 2025-2026 season. So it arrived today on my doorstep and I couldn't even wait 24 hours to make this video. I was like, screw it, we're making it today. So I've got it right here. It actually showed up on my doorstep with this rip in it, and maybe you can see a little bit there. Try not to give it away. I was scared, you know what list, because I was like, oh my God, somebody cut this jersey in half, and now I'm going to have to prove that it happened in shipping and it wasn't me, and please send me a new one or refund my money. But after a quick check without fully unbagging it, we're looking pretty good. So we will move forward with the unbagging. Hopefully no surprises. Like I said, I gave it a quick look over before. I really wish Fanatics would put it in a darn box when they're shipping these things instead of putting them in these poly bags, but here we are. So this one's from NHLshop.com. This is one of the new jerseys that was just released over the last, call it 2 or 3 weeks. We've been really spoiled as jersey fans to get all of this stuff coming down the pipe. I know I've got a laundry list of jerseys I want, I'm still on the fence about, and then a couple that I'm like, I'll probably pass. Maybe add them, later down the road, but we'll see. But anyways, let's dive into it. You might have a hint based on what I'm wearing in terms of this jersey. We have the new Centennial Detroit Red Wings jersey. I had to get Larkin, and I know I got a Dylan Larkin in the Stadium Series jersey that we unboxed or unbagged a number of videos ago, but the other options with names and number kits online were DeBrincat and Kane, and they didn't have alternate patches. And I selfishly wanted the faux leather assistant or captain patch on this jersey. So I've got another Larkin jersey. It's all good. Well, let's dive into this thing. I'm going to give it a once over here. It looked like the cut could have possibly been in the Red Wing itself, but it looks good. I think we avoided catastrophe. So let's start breaking this thing down. I know there's been a lot of stuff online with, explaining where the designs came from and why and what they did, but let's look at it here. So first off, on the jock tag from the Cougars era, we have the D, established 1926, Detroit, Michigan, which is really cool. This faux leather. We're really happy to see this, right? Just something different with hockey jerseys. We see the throwback, we see the vintage, but to have this faux leather added, such a nice touch. We'll get there in the captain's patch here in a second, but it looks so sharp. And then they've also got the D on the back here in the hemline in the back of the jersey. And then the numbers are inspired by their barber pole jersey from 1927, 1928. So we'll take a quick look here. Again, it's a Larkin. And it's felt, cream colored or off white. Looks great. And then in terms of the striping on both the waist, or the front and back hemline, and the sleeves, it's an homage to the Falcons era. So we'll look at the sleeve here first. Different size bands. It looks like these two are similar. These two are similar. And then you get the thin one in the middle. Looks really good in person. And then again, off-white tone, right, to give that heritage aesthetic that everyone's been looking for, just like the number kit here. And then back to the leather detailing. Let's take a look at this captain's patch quick. So obviously trying to emulate, replicate not just what the Red Wings wore, but, the original 6 and even before that wore back in the day in terms of gloves and equipment. The diamond here is like the captain's patch back in 1950s. Again, with the faux leather jock tag as well and the hem loop. Chain stitched wheel here. So super cool. We talked a lot about the Blackhawks and their chain stitching, and it looks great in all of their jerseys. Probably one of the best logos in the league when it comes to that detail. So we get this here in the Red Wing, which was done between 1932 and 1948. So they brought it back with this. You got the laced up collar, which is just, a fan favorite. Who doesn't like that? On this one, I don't get the anniversary patch on the shoulder, but that's okay. Not too worried about that. But it is on. I'm sure it's probably on the Authentic Pro. I didn't look online because those guys are out of my price tag. But I'm sure if you go to Joe Louis Arena and the team website, they're probably there. And then you do get Hockey Town in the collar here, which is great. And then this is super cool. So we've seen this detail from Fanatics and the Winter Classics and things like that. But you get their Stanley Cups, and the really cool detail that I didn't notice at the start, somebody pointed this out online. You have the original Stanley Cup silhouette that they won here back in 1936, and then the more modern, or what it basically looks like today, at the end when they won their last Stanley Cup in 2008. So super cool touch from Fanatics. I give them credit for that. So this jersey launched on the 15th of September, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, I need this one. It's being added to the collection for sure, but I wasn't ready to pull the trigger yet. But when I was going online and checking the rate of sale, it looked like all the big sizes were just pleated like that, which isn't unusual. But then I saw size 54 gone, and then at the end of the night, size 52 gone. So I got a bit of FOMO, and then that night I have a gift card for NHL Shop. So I was like, screw it. I'll use most of it or some of it on this jersey. So I ordered a size 50 last night, which is this one here. And came in about a week, which was super fast. Very impressed with that. The one call out for my Canadian viewers here is it tells you where it's shipping from on NHL Shop, and this one came from the States. So when I finally got to the checkout, they hit me with a lovely $50.88 duty paid fee, which I haven't seen before from NHLshop.com. Basically, with the tariffs, everything we find ourselves in these days from a political, economic, trade standpoint, that's new. So I don't regret paying that extra $50.88, just calling it out. Be aware, probably going to be a thing for the foreseeable future with any and all jerseys coming from the States being ordered through NHLshop.ca. But let's try this guy on. Let's take a quick look at it. All right, the jersey's fitting good. I got a size 50, like I said, because, there wasn't a 52 even if I wanted one. Sucker for the cream and the felt. The faux leather is just a beautiful, unexpected touch. Again, with the captain's patch. The jock tag here. Detroit Fanatics, you guys hit, I don't know if it's out of the park, but you definitely hit a double, maybe even a triple. Look for more 2025, 2026 jerseys to be added to my collection. Again, we've been spoiled over the last, call it 2 or 3 weeks with these jersey reveals and releases. Some of them were an instant yep, like this one, it's being added to the collection. Others were, I'm hemming and hawing, but I'm probably leaning towards yes. And then there were a couple where I'm like, nah, I can wait, or maybe I'll just pass altogether. We'll see. I won't spoil which ones I did like versus which ones I didn't, because that's no fun for anybody. So stay tuned to the channel. Sounds like they're going to launch kind of early, mid-October, like October 6th, 7th, 8th. So by the end of the month, we should have a slew of videos, unboxing, unbagging, reviewing those new jerseys. So I'm looking forward to that. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Brett from Silky Sweater here. Like, subscribe. Take care, everybody.